Hey everyone, it's Kenji. Today I'm going to be making some scrambled eggs. Really good scrambled eggs. You've seen me make scrambled eggs before. This will be a slightly different way to do it. So these are going to be kind of super rich and creamy, hopefully really bright yellow and nice. So we're going to start by preheating our pan, relatively low heat here. Okay, then I'm going to break my eggs. I'm going to do, let's see, 1 egg, 2 eggs, let's say 2 whole eggs. And then what I'm going to do is over here, I'm going to retain some of these yolks. Okay, 1 yolk, oops, and 2 yolks. So I'm going to beat up these eggs with a little bit of salt. I always salt my eggs prior to scrambling them. You've heard me say this a million times, and I have other videos about this. But I salt my eggs prior to scrambling them. What happens is that the salt will actually dissolve some of the egg proteins. It makes it so that the eggs, when they start to cook, they don't set up as tightly, they don't squeeze as tightly, and so they actually retain more moisture and stay more tender if you pre-salt them. Ideally, you actually want to pre-salt them and let them sit for about 15 minutes before you cook them, and that'll give you sort of the best effect. But we're just going to let them go as is. All right, so I got my eggs there. I've got my egg yolks here. I'm also going to beat those up. Okay, I'm going to go into my pan with about a tablespoon or so of butter. We're going to increase our heat a little bit. This is a non-stick skillet. I'm using salted butter, but you can use unsalted. It really doesn't matter what butter you use. You just want to make sure that if you are using salted butter, because you have it at home, just make sure you under-season your eggs slightly so that it doesn't end up too salty. All right. Once the butter starts to foam, we're going to go straight in with our eggs. Now the idea here is that we want to be kind of constantly stirring, because you want really fine curds to form. You know, if you like your eggs really, this is going to give you a really nice creamy, rich scrambled eggs. If you like your eggs sort of drier and fluffier, you can do that too. It's just not going to be with this method. You're going to want to use a slightly higher heat for that method. All right, so once we get to about there, our eggs are almost done. We're going to pour in our egg yolks. Shut off the heat. And then just kind of fold that all in using the residual heat of the pan. You see how nice and rich and creamy and glossy they come out when you do it like that? There we go. You see how nice and like smooth and tender? It's almost like those yolks form like a sauce for the eggs, you know? But that whole, saving the yolks till the end, adding them in off heat, it cools down the eggs, it stops them from overcooking, and it saves that richness for the very end. I'm gonna grab some toast. I got some nice chocopan toast. Let's see how this is. All right. They're good. Try them this way. This is one of many ways to make really good scrambled eggs. I think this is one of my favorite methods, though. It's a great method. When you're making scrambled eggs, save 1 or 2 of your yolks. 30% of your yolks, set them aside. And then add them at the very end when your eggs are almost done. It'll make them really extra rich and creamy. A very, very simple technique to do. Doesn't require any extra ingredients. It barely takes any more time, and it will make a difference in your eggs. The other thing you can also do is if you want to make them extra rich, and we used to do this at a restaurant I worked at, you can get extra eggs, save just the yolks, scramble whole eggs, and then add like a bunch of yolks in at the end, so your scrambled eggs are like 50% egg yolk. Makes them really, really good. However, anyhow, that's another video for another time. Guys, gals, non-binary pals, extra creamy scrambled eggs. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.